What's good? I'm going to give everybody a second to get in here. I know it was a little late. Overall, though, pretty nice delivery across the board with equities and crypto for once. But as we came back down into this discount, if we see here, it's kind of interesting. So I see two potential scenarios, and I'm looking at ES. I see that we did come into a discount, right? And when we came into that discount, we swept these equal lows. Now, as you guys know who've been watching this week, I wanted this imbalance. NQ gave it. So we got a little bit of smart money technique divergence or smart money tool divergence. I've heard it both. I know ICT says both, but SMT. And the fact that right here, we did not make lower lows on the S&P and we did on the NASDAQ. So when that happens, we look for a bullish narrative, but oftentimes whenever we have this occur, just like we did on the daily chart quite recently, when we had the S&P, I think it was over here maybe. What is the date? 28th. Let's see. Yeah, it was on the 28th right there. We didn't have NQ take the lows and S&P did. Right? You see on the 28th, there was pretty big divergence there, equal lows compared to a lower low. What we had happen was price moved up and we got a bullish move here, but then it came down and ended up did take that low. So I'm looking at the 1 hour chart here. I see two potential outcomes here. We come down and we take those lows and come back down into a deeper discount because ES really has kind of engineered this level of support here. I think that's a high possibility. And it seems like ES is a little bit weaker here. It's coming back down deeper into its range that it made today. And the second possibility I see, depending on this afternoon price action, is we're forming these equal highs just under the previous day's high. Now, this one's kind of odd because it's not really a swing high or anything. It was basically like we just started dumping from midnight on Wednesday. But theoretically, well, not theoretically, wrong word. Technically, this is still the high that it made during yesterday's trading session. I have not done a stream on SMT Divergence. Basically, it's just when a benchmark asset makes a higher high and another asset doesn't. So, for instance, ES and NQ, they should move together. So, if one is moving different, we can use that along with other confluences to determine whether we think it's a liquidity rate or not. So we've been seeing a lot of it lately. And almost always it gets corrected, especially when we're on these higher time frames. So I think the move of the day was kind of this morning. We got into some crypto play, hit 1 TP, but has turned around a little bit. I think it's probably going to come back down around to here. If I had to guess, maybe let's see. I haven't looked at it. So I was looking at this original 5-minute impulse move that really kind of confirmed this range that we were just kind of manipulating down here. And I was kind of just doing some TA on it last night before I went to bed. And it was following bullish order flow pretty nice. And what I mean by that, let me hide this. It's not going to keep popping up. Once we came back down, we had this nice accumulation, manipulation, distribution, aka power of 3 right here. So we had this accumulation of orders above this imbalance that was created after the stop rate was confirmed on a lower time frame. So manipulated down into that imbalance and then expanded, right, coming up and taking out this high and all these equal highs. That's just a low time frame, little schematic. But whenever we're talking about the pivotal moments of price action here, when the bullish order flow really started to kick in, we see that price was being delivered pretty efficiently. I think he's a 3-minute or a 2-minute for that gap. I just want to see. Here's the order block down there. Or maybe Tradingview move my box like it likes to do. There's something I had right here, and it wasn't this candle. I just love that Tradingview does that now. It's like maybe it was a 5-minute. I'm just tripping. Oh, it was. Okay, I'm just talking shit. So the 5-minute, we had this nice little move, shift in market structure. That was in the 1 minute, but really this was the 5-minute shift in structure. and left that imbalance in a discount of that little impulse move. Price returned to it and expanded rapidly and created a second impulse swing with a imbalance and discount. Now this hasn't been touched. So I think that as we have generated all this liquidity, it's similar to what we just looked at on the lower time frame. You know, we could see some accumulation here, manipulation, distribution. And also we could look at our first target as the inducement of some late longs and filling institutional orders, because the reason I added that optional target was the full fill of this 15-minute imbalance. And we saw a nice rejection from that. So I'm glad we added that as a target. And now price is showing us the desire to move down. Now, what is it moving down towards? I would venture to guess these lows. Right, we got some lows here, and we've got a 15-minute imbalance here as well that I'm just now peeping. I like to study price as it moves. I mean, we're not going to change our position. We've already taken some profits, but I do like still observing it. And I'm trying to find an alt that I really like trading that moves pretty nice. And FILUSDT, it stopped us out earlier this month on it was a swing trade, but that's okay. I overall like the way it moves. It's weird because it's not the highest market cap coin, but I do know a lot of institutions are involved in FILUSDT. I know Grayscale has a ton of it. Good old Mike Saylor, the liquidation king, has some of it. But you know, whenever we have a lot of large players in force, those are the markets that are going to get manipulated. So nice gain so far on that. Nothing crazy, but I think we come back down. It's a 1 hour order block. There's that 5-minute imbalance. Do I like how XRP moves? I actually would like to trade XRP and focus on a little more. I know Longway, he's in here right now in the Discord. He kills that shit. Let's go back to Tradingview. Has been lagging lately where I click my list and it like doesn't work for a second. What did QNT go for it again? Oh no, it's going down. I was going to say, if this shit went for it again, I'd be insanely surprised. The weekly has created a massive impulse range. There's an imbalance down here. I really wish this had futures. I'd watch it more. Potential, you know, could come down here. We left this monthly imbalance intact. So I do think eventually we'll see higher for QNT. This looks like a very nice bullish range here. We came down, we kept taking these stops, expanded out, and we've seen bullish order flow in place since. Didn't really react to this imbalance in this daily impulse swing, so that tells me it wants something lower. Could be this imbalance. You know, we kind of got to treat it as stepping stones, and until the daily trend is broken, you know, I wouldn't really confirm that the weekly is pulling back all the way down to that lower imbalance, just because we haven't really got a market structure shift on the daily. Now, we have formed a swing high in the daily, but that's just relevant to the daily time frame and would lead me to look for discount price delivery arrays, which we are in one right now. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, specifically what I would look for if I was looking to be a buyer here would be a shift in market structure with displacement, similar to what we got here on Filecoin, the reason that I entered Filecoin. Now, we were using different time frames. Since I was using a 1 hour range and a 1 hour discount price delivery array, I used a 5-minute to confirm it. And this was one where I'm glad. Yeah, I'll look at EURUSD. I got you, Sensei. This is one where I'm glad that I did execute on it, because it was kind of one of those where, you know, crypto's been not the most consistent for me lately, and I think for most people. So I was kind of like, you know, don't take it, whatever. And then I was like, you got to keep moving. You got to keep pushing. So, you know, this is the same model I trade on indices. Shift of any, you know, swing high getting taken with displacement. Now we can see it wasn't the cleanest price action. It actually came back down and tested equilibrium of this wick, I think on a 1 minute. I know that's a Wyckoff thing. I'm not a Wyckoff guy, but I do know that whenever price comes down and tests equilibrium like that, and reacts nicely, I don't want to speak wrong terms or try to teach something that I don't use, but I did notice that. So that's probably what I was reaching for, because it didn't really react nicely off the imbalance like we would have liked. But, you know, that's why we keep our stop loss under the liquidity rate low. Because we look back, I posted this on Twitter for you guys for free, that I was looking for a rate of this low into this imbalance and would use the 5-minute to confirm. So for those of you who've been paying attention to streams, free opportunity there. As far as trying to get a direct signal, that's for the Discord. But nice move on it so far. We'll see how it goes moving into the rest of the week and the weekend. Yeah, so NQ's already back down here. Yeah, I would look for potential reversal here. Now, since we're on a 5-minute, I would look for the 1 minute to start to confirm here and maybe come back up and take out these highs. Potential market maker buy model here. We have this consolidation, expansion. Then I would look for a smart money reversal here and look for that second leg of accumulation up from there. And this is just speculation. I'm not telling you this is going to happen, but if I was a buyer, the two opportunities I see if it does reverse here would be, if it does something like this, and then you can get on the second leg if you miss the first one. Now, again, ICT, would consider this low risk sell, and then the high probability, or sorry, not sell, buy. Again, we're just wired to be bears now. But the second leg up, which is the second displacement leg, you would look for the same kind of entry, fair value gap, and a discount, just like we would look over here if this occurs. Now, again, don't come back, and I'm not telling you that's going to for sure happen. I'm just giving you what my eye is kind of seeing potential. But keep in mind that the S&P could be very well going for these lows. They're just too clean. So or what was the first one? Was it EURUSD, Sensei? Yeah, EURUSD. So actually reacted. We were talking about this imbalance yesterday. Very nice reaction out of it. I'm going to delete this because it's kind of cluttering the screen. Again, we're looking at a bullish range here overall. We're in a pretty bearish range on the daily, right? But we talked about these highs and how they have the potential to be taken. So once we see that price was in this bullish range, you came down to your discount price delivery array, had a shift. Well, I've been right here. Had a shift in market structure. That's all you got. Now we've seen a pretty big retracement here from that. But I mean, this was actually probably a really clean AMD model here. Well, that could have been better, to be quite honest. I thought it was going to be moving at midnight around here. Overall, as of this little move we have here, we haven't shifted on the 1 hour. If you start to shift here and break the displacement, I would look for these lows. If we hold this order block here, I would look for these highs. It's kind of if then right here, which is nice. So we look, I mean, the 15-minute still, in my opinion, is showing the signs to go higher. We'll see if this reacts there. If it doesn't, then don't force anything. Again, we want to layer confirmations as much as possible because at the end of the day, we are in a bearish daily range and we have returned to a premium and we have shown the desire to move down. So overall bias would still be bearish. So those longs would be something you'd want to really, be calculated with. Don't force them. Don't feel like you have to take a trade. There's always going to be another trade. So again, yes, you have a bullish range, but we know that bullish range could have been just to come up and mitigate this order block here on the daily. Because we look, we didn't come above the mean threshold, the 50% line, and price is showing pretty clear desire to move down from it. So I think the longs would be maybe pushing it. If it were me, I would probably just wait for more sells or a more of a long confirmation. But that's what I'm seeing here. So let me see. There's a couple questions here. How would I rate my overall trading week so far? Boring as shit. Took a loss on ETH, a loss on NQ, and then yesterday I took a nice pretty big win on ES. I shouldn't say boring. Yesterday was nice. And then Filecoin, but Filecoin's just on my Binance, so it's not really too exciting, like the funded. But overall, I mean, it's not been crazy. Yesterday's price delivery on indices was actually really nice. So I guess I need to be a little more grateful. I was in a really good mood yesterday. We talked about those trades already yesterday. What is the most optimal time to trade crypto? New York session. I'd say like 7 a.m. Eastern to really around noon Eastern is going to be probably like your super sweet spot. If we go back and mark out, this is the New York killzone to the London close, which is 7 a.m. to noon on my chart. London close really to me is ending coming into 11, but the session itself that I have marked is to noon. But this is going to be where your sweet spot is. A lot of people like trading Tokyo too. When we go by, if you just look, you can kind of see where the big movement is. It's the blue boxes, which is going to be those New York zones. I mean, Tokyo does too. So I guess, it's arguable that Tokyo is just as good as New York, but really either one. Tokyo, the benefit Tokyo has is you're not really as influenced by indices. Like I wouldn't waste my time watching crypto during New York. I would watch indices. So I guess you could say maybe watch Tokyo if you trade indices. QNT and RSR trade nicer than Bitcoin. I haven't looked at RSR, but QNT's been pretty crazy lately. So I said Raven made a decent move today. Oh yeah, I did. Let's take a look at Raven. I haven't looked at this in a long time. Jesus, this has been this harmonic fucking smack though, didn't it? At ABCD, the good old days trading harmonics. Yeah, I don't think I caught that whole move, but I remember we did trade Raven last summer quite a bit. I used to be tough on the harmonics. The Playbit OGs remember that. Let's see if this has a better monthly chart. There we go. This wick is sus, but I mean, trading in this order block. Why does Tradingview want to do that? Trade in this order block, and then you got that weird chart, man. I mean, theoretically, you kind of created a new range here. I mean, even though it's a massive wick, your old range was this right here, in my opinion, and you had this imbalance in a premium, which I would have looked at as the draw, but then it kind of came up and just took that high. So maybe that was something to do with the Ethereum merge, because I know a lot of people used to mine this. Like I think this is a GPU mining coin, so that could have had some kind of effect there, the Ethereum merge. Because a lot of miners might have been switching over or something along that. Might have been some manipulation there. But you're kind of at your make or break point, because you have, I mean, this is your range. So, I mean, if you're looking at, price as far as order blocks go, it seems like we kind of are creating bullish order flow here on the weekly. So potentially could watch the daily here for a shift in market structure with displacement. And I wouldn't call this that if it pipped it. Personally, I wouldn't. I mean, maybe it ends up working out, but there's no gap or nothing really of much substance. It's already taken out this little last down candle. But I mean, overall, this could be a nice opportunity. Came down and fully mitigated this fair value gap. Take a peek at the 1 hour. I mean, this doesn't look bad. I will be honest with you, because you come down here. Now we've taken a closer look. See how we come down. It's moving a little deeper down than I'd like it to. But I mean, with crypto, again, it's like Filecoin. Stuff's not as clean and precise as you're going to want it to be, especially these, lower cap coins. So what I would really wait for here is the daily to show some intention, because, we're talking about that weekly range. That's pretty wide, right? And the daily range itself, I would say the daily range is really about the same. But we can look at this last impulse move down to here, and we have a nice imbalance at a premium. Also got some low-hanging fruit here. A lot of highs right there. So if we start to shift up and show, signs that we do want to move higher, you could see a push on Ravencoin. What I would look for is, maybe price to kind of consolidate here or make a really big push, like something undeniable above these highs right here and form a fair value gap. So if you get something like that, I would really, like the setup a lot more, because it's at that moment where, this could have just been a liquidity raid, right? So we're down at a discount of that move, though. We have to be technical, and if we take that high, I still look at that as a new range. So we're in that weekly order block at a discount. There are some relatively equal lows here, but if we go under that, I would almost just look for the lows of the range or this low. So when we look at that from that context, and we're in this weekly order block, we are seeing the daily show somewhat of bullish price action, and the hourly did make a nice move from down here. Let's see, do we pip this high? Okay, so we're forming equal highs here. I mean, I see more upside on this overall. Now, if it holds, I don't know. And it's going to be really, displacement is going to be our saving grace when it comes to this one. Overall, I think your draw is these highs right here, though. So you've got equal highs, buy side liquidity above that. Nice imbalance right above too. And see how we're coming off of these areas where there's going to be a lot of stop losses. When you come off that, it tells you that's manipulation. That kind of move off that tells me that those stops were ran. So overall, I would look for this to draw to the upside, up into those highs. Now, how we take the high is going to determine the bigger picture. Gold longs today. I haven't really looked at gold in a while, to be honest. Well, it reacted nicely from where we originally were talking about. I remember the last time I was up here. It still hasn't came up and moved into any of these imbalances. Let's delete, so I'd leave that there. Just move this down to here. Me, I'm all about the low-hanging fruit. They're still really showing no desire to go up overall, in my opinion. To me, I mean, you could see a push up here, but again, when we're looking at the daily chart, we have came into a premium and shown the desire to want to move lower, but at the same time, we didn't really form much structure here. It was just one straight shot up, one straight shot down. And, we did kind of break this down here at displacement. Didn't leave a gap because we've already filled it. Now we look at the 1 hour. So just keep in mind, the daily range is bearish, and we've returned to a premium and moved rapidly away from it. So when we're looking at the 1 hour range, not the cleanest PA either, to be honest with you, but I would see maybe a little higher here. I'm looking at that. That'd be the first imbalance or price delivery I see of much value in a premium. And the market is showing us here that I wanted to move a little higher. But again, these longs, if you were to take them or anything here, is going to be lower probability because it's in a bearish range on the daily and on the 1 hour. So you're kind of operating in the rough here. But if it was to see a push, you're kind of where you'd want it to happen. You'd need the 5 minute to start shifting structure here and show you the desire to move up, which it definitely has not. And again, I wouldn't count on it too. But if the 5 minute starts to give you this kind of price action, you might start to see a push back up liquidate all these early shorts, move into premium pricing. But there were definitely probably some nice longs this morning. Like the original longs, and this is how you can tell. Like when we're talking about forming a swing low on any time frame, and we can talk about it in the sense that okay, we have this first candle that has a candle to the right and a candle to the left that has a higher low, and that's going to be more aggressive. And you can see, let's say if you did that right here, you got burnt. Now the more surefire way to do it is wait for that market structure shift, just like we kind of have there, and watch how price reacts within it. All right, so then we look, just like I was saying, we want a 5-minute price action like that. If we look right here in this zone, I'm going to move it so we can actually see as price comes down into it, we get that displacement breakup structure. There's a nice order block entry right here. Or you could have used this imbalance right there. Really up to you at that point. The imbalance had actually been a little bit better. So what you want to do is once you get that shift in structure, which is right there, inside your 1 hour imbalance, you want to look in a premium or a discount of the range that created that shift in structure. We're not going to use the entire lowest point to the highest point. We want to look, where is the institutional sponsorship very clear? It's undeniable. And this is a big point that I got to make, because I know I talk about displacement a lot, but whenever a lot of smart money concepts teachers or courses teach you structure, they don't really talk about displacement that much, because they want to make it easy and dumb it down. And I understand that it is important to maintain a technical strategy, but there are some things that are discretionary. That's just the truth. And displacement is one of them. So you got to learn, what is displacement to you? Is this displacement? No. Is this displacement? Is this undeniable? You look at that and say, whoa, right? So something happened here. Now what happened? Well, we're probably mitigating those orders that were left by the 1 hour doing the same thing. We look, what was this? Displacement. So price comes back down to the gap, pushes up, and then your entry will look something like this. Now, different ways you could have taken profits. You could have just said, I'm cool with this if that's a really low R, or maybe I'm cool with this, whatever, or maybe you'd be looking for this. Now, most of the time you'd be looking for pricing in a premium, in extending something like this. But of course, that's going to be sometimes a little lower probability. Now we see it almost got there. You could have just taken profits maybe right at an equilibrium, which it seems like that's actually would have been the fucking snipe, huh? Which isn't a bad idea, just if there's not really a clean thing, or if you're just in a very counter trend trade, to look for just premium prices, because we're using the daily to get the range. We're using the 1 hour to frame when we're forming a swing low and when price is showing the desire to move to a premium. And your counter trend on both 1 hour and daily. So you might want to be a little bit more frugal here. And as you get higher up in this discount and closer to equilibrium, these longs are starting to lose probability. Again, a concept I'm trying to push to you guys more and more is that nothing is impossible, right? And anything can happen at any time. So the sooner you understand that, and you understand that you really don't know what's going to happen, you really don't. I don't know. Like when I enter a trade, I do not know for sure what's going to happen, but I accept the risk that anything can happen. And I just look at things like, how valuable is this trade? Does it meet my system? Is it worth my time and risk? And different factors come into play to dictate that. Like if you are higher up in a premium or a discount in a counter trend trade, well, you might want to just wait, right? Who knows? You might not even take this down here. You might just wait for price to come up here and then give you your pro trend entries. So he says, why doesn't QNT have futures? I really don't know, honestly. Usually it's volume, but I know that QNT's had a lot of volume. Oh, it does have futures on what? Oh, what the fuck? This whole time, are you kidding me? Oh, it has futures as of like last week. Okay, nice. Or no, not even last week. Like no, that's yesterday. I thought it was on a daily. Okay, bet. Well, hell yeah. Good shit. Honestly, I'm glad. I've been talking about this. You guys who've been watching for a little bit know I've been saying I wish I had futures. Thank you for putting that out there, LM. Yen is manipulated. Japan's economy is dying. UJ, what's it doing now? I don't know. People swear they love trading this. I don't know. It's not. I would show you guys something that's like, the fucking yearly chart looks exactly like, something like we would long on like a 1 minute chart, like literally. Like if I wasn't looking at, you know, anything else, this is exactly how I'd trade this. Probably something like this. I'd probably take it to this high just to be safe. Like this is like a 1 minute. This looks like a 1 minute on ES when I get a good trade. I swear it's so fucked up how bad this is. This is a yearly chart, guys. It's pretty crazy. Also, Haas, I just now said you said you had the same idea on ES and NQ. NQ took the previous daily low and ES did not. Did NQ take the previous daily low? I don't think it did. You know, it didn't. Because I had it marked. That was, it's kind of looking at ES to come down and take these lows. Got a lot of earnings coming up too. I know that I think next week is Apple earnings. Could be wrong. That's it. Or wait, am I crazy or was it today? I might be just completely. No, it's not, I don't think. I know last time I put in Q3, that's why I'm fucking up. Q2. Hold on. So they're next week though. I don't want to lead you guys wrong, so let me figure this out. NASDAQ. Yeah, it's October 27th, so it's next Thursday. For a second, I was like, wait, what am I doing? But yes, that's gonna be very impactful. It seems like this one's the lows down here. Somebody asked, it's not better to trade the kill zone instead of the session. I mean, oftentimes you're gonna get the low risk setups during the kill zone, but don't like overthink shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that a lot of people that are new to learning SMC or ICT stuff, they like really try to minimize or min max shit. Like you try to be like the fucking, you know, Pico tops and bottoms and don't do that to yourself. It's not necessary. A lot of that's just a selling point, in my opinion, for, you know, course giver or course seller, whatever. And, you know, while it is possible, that's not what you should be trying to do when you're new. You know what I mean? Don't try to get minimalist and maximize everything. I can't even talk. Min max. But it's not what you want to do. It's bad for your psychology. Oh, you're good, Haas. Yeah, no, for sure. That was the daily chart. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, honestly, I've seen people mark it differently. I mean, theoretically, that would be the previous day, like the session low. So that you might be end up marking it different than I do. I just mark the lowest point, like in the 24-hour area. But you could be right. I mean, that's where that SMT was. I guess it's really just kind of depends on how you want to mark it. I always just mark the lowest point in that 24 hours. But I see what you're saying though, for sure. Mike asked, if price is in a bullish daily range and structure shifts bullish after taking buy side isn't in a discount of the range, would I still long or wait or stick with my bias for price and return to discount? Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to draw out what I'm getting from you. So you said if price is in a bullish daily range. So we'll say this. So if we're in a bullish daily range, we've created that after taking buy side. So we'll say maybe, I don't know, there was some buy side over here. Or oh, you're actually, I think I see what you're saying actually. Let me redraw this, make it more simple. So maybe you're saying if we take the buy side with that high, and this is your range, and you're up here, would I still long? I personally would be looking for more shorts, but I mean, at the same time, if you're on a daily time frame, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So I'm a day trader. So this could come down here and consolidate a little bit and have formed maybe an imbalance right here. And that price kind of shows a desire to move up to. So, you know, you might end up getting longs into that before sells. You know, that's possible for sure. So again, it's just understanding the time frames that are best for you to use. Now, like if I'm a swing trader, I'm not going to long in a premium of a daily range. But if I'm a day trader, a scalper, there's probably going to be both buys and sells before multiple days unfold. But the sells will most likely be the more expansive and more probable setups. I already answered this one. Tradingview has been really fucking up lately. Yeah, they must be upgrading their stuff. It's probably for the better overall. We'll see. There's some nice SMT. I just now noticed this nice bearish SMT as well right here. You see that higher high on NASDAQ, lower high on ES, which is weird. You would think ES would get it because, you know, it has the lows down here. It's kind of odd, but there is that SMT there for sure. I was actually not at the house for a little bit this morning. There's probably a really nice setup here. Yeah, there was a nice sell setup with that SMT here. And it's a great example of why not to. I think this might have been what you sent me, Haas. Maybe. This is a great example of don't ever try to. I know that even ICT sometimes does it or posts about using the stop loss as the most recent high or the top of the fair value gap. I'll just be honest. I never do that because of stuff like this. Like, look at this. It's a great way to ruin your fucking day. And that shit happens all the time. So I never do that. I don't think it's smart, in my opinion. But I know that ICT even pushes to. He says that's an option, you know, depending on your risk. Because I know he's trying to think of it like people that are trading contracts. Yeah, it could have been something like this right here. It's that first low in the impulse move of the daily range, or not the daily chart, but the today's range, the morning range. Might have gone lower, but this is where I would have been fully out, just because, you know, yeah, we can look at it and say, oh, it's maybe going to go lower because of ES. But the SMT, you know, while you're, and this is a, you know, an example of whenever we're in these ranges, you know, there's going to be opportunities. Just because we came into a discount and we've expanded up doesn't mean there's never going to be a selling opportunity. Also left these nice equal highs up here. Oh, it's ES. So yeah, it's gonna be the same. And it just sucks, man. Like that shit is so frustrating to happen. Yeah, like right here, I see it now. I remember you saying that shit sucks, bro. Like, but the thing is, you just learned a very valuable lesson. That's a possibility of happening, right? Because your trade idea was great. Like, it was a beautiful idea. You know, I will say maybe this would have been kind of more what entered me in, just because the fair value gap. But you know, still it's best to just use that high. You know what I mean? It just sucks to don't let it get to your head too much, bro, because that shit happens and it sucks. But what sucks worse is the psychological effect it can have on you to see it get stop hunted and the trade just go. Somebody said they just joined. We haven't done Bitcoin actually yet, so you're in luck. So good old corn. Fucking Bitcoin. So the thing is, corn, we tapped into that imbalance. Now, if I go to a 15-minute, I think I can get a clearer imbalance. So we did come into a discount, and we did tap a price delivery array. So we look at the 1 hour. We did get a shift in market structure. We did leave a fair value gap. This tells me that price wants to draw up. Now, if the S&P comes and takes those equal lows, this is probably going to move down. But just looking at this chart, I would say that, unless we get a displacement shift in structure on the 1 hour, which would be us coming down and violently taking these lows, like a blast and leaving a gap, at that point, I would look probably for this low. But if you don't get that, I would continuously look for opportunities to trade up maybe into this fair value gap, to these highs, or even this high. But again, you got to kind of roll with the punches with crypto because you're operating in the playing field of something else, right? You're operating within indices. If this comes down and takes these lows, your Bitcoin TA is going to get fucked. It's just that simple. But I like this move here, similar to what we got on Filecoin. Okay, so I think Filecoin is going to come back down to that imbalance. But until we get a, Filecoin, in my opinion, looks better than Bitcoin here. Just because here, if we come down, well, I don't know. I was gonna say, if we come down and break this with displacement, I was gonna say, that just tells us that we're looking for opposing liquidity. If we get a market structure shift down, we're looking for something below us. So we could look at these lows. Maybe, or this order block. It's possible for sure. That's what it's searching for. And it might just, reverse from there. But when I just kind of like look at this, that fair value gap's already mitigated to me. Actually, it might not be. No, it's not. Well, I guess to be fair, you could see a reversal under these lows because we haven't came into a discounted fair value gap. So if price breaks on here, that would be your next stop, and you'd want to hold that and make a move from that. I'll actually set an alert. I don't know how active. I'm going to be pretty much gone after I get off stream today, but I'll set an alert. So that would kind of go hand in hand if ES and if ES takes the lows without Bitcoin taking everything, that would be pretty nice because that would show us that ES is moving down pretty abruptly, maybe into this imbalance. I don't think that Bitcoin won't go with it, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, no problem. No problem. Nice, Vanch. I know I'm like really light on these comments, but could you show what can I show what I mean by daily bullish and bearish range? Yeah, so any range, it's just any price range. You just look at the most two recent points where we have kind of swung and made an impulse move. So here we had, this was a move right here. And then you have this right here. So, you're going to take your fib tool, and this is the settings. You need just 0.5, 1, 0, 1, and 0.5. And you can take that and draw it from each point. And then if you're above that midpoint, you're in a premium. And if you're below it, you're at a discount. So just think of it like, candlesticks are your product. You're a business. If you want to buy your product, do you want to buy it for a discount or a premium? Well, of course, you're going to buy it for a discount. If you want to sell your product, you want to sell it for a premium. Don't overthink that. But that simple concept gets overlooked by a lot of people. They learn smart money concepts. They learn premium discount. They're like, yeah, fuck that. Where's the order blocks? And they just trade every fucking order block and wonder why, it's only working 30% of the time. And these small tweaks in your strategy are going to be what determines how good of a trader you are in the long run. And on top of that, your psychological ability to be patient and stay true to whatever tweaks you make in your strategy is going to determine how valuable that knowledge is to you. For instance, if you understand, you kind of come to a revelation. Damn, like I haven't been using premium and discount, and when I look back, there's a lot of opportunities that I could have saved myself. The bad opportunities, and a lot of losses that I could have mitigated and not taken had I just used premium and discount. And you might know that, but then maybe you just still haven't been able to kind of grasp that you got to be patient and wait, and you might have tried to long here or something. You might continuously try to make those mistakes. So it's hand in hand. You got to have patience and discipline. Do I pyramid? And so you ask, what is pyramid? It's funny you asked that. I swear it's weird. Sometimes people ask me stuff that I was just thinking about this yesterday. I was looking at my ES trade I took yesterday. I was looking at this, how you could have pyramided this. I ended up cutting this. I need to edit this. I cut it. It's like probably like right around this point right here, like that candle in there. I remember right before it dumped. But it's all right. It's still a very nice trade. I don't know. It was actually, yeah, it was like closer to here because it was literally as we were getting off stream yesterday. I cut it. But in this example, I kind of hide all of this right here so we can see a little bit better. Okay, Tradingview doesn't want to work. So when we look at this bit of price action here, we know we had the framework that we are in a POI, so I'm not going to get into the depth of why I took the trade. We went over yesterday. But whenever we're talking about pyramiding a trade, we can use market maker sell models a lot of the time. Now, this isn't going to be the prettiest, and this may not even be like a very perfect model. We have that consolidation, little expansion consolidation, smart money reversal up here. Now you could really just draw it as this right here, I guess. And then we have this second little range here. Right, all of this to me is where that price is getting redistributed. Okay, so where is the second real displacement leg? So just delete all this, how you've seen it, or I'll hide it. Where here, after this range, is the real displacement coming in? Right here. So when we're talking about pyramiding, and to answer your question, Hefe, pyramiding is when you enter a trade not all at once. So for instance, there's going to be two entries here. There's going to be the low risk entry, which is up here. Entry I took. And that's just the same thing we've been talking about for however long now, just the market structure shift, fair value gap. And then you have, that's what you call a low risk sell. And then you have what is called a high probability sell. So what is a high probability sell? It's that second leg of distribution down. So you could look at it like this. Now these are where they get a little tricky. So if you're new to this, don't try to take these. Sometimes give the more expansive results, but they're a little more difficult. So in this example, did this actually get taken? That's pretty crazy. A lot of times this happens too. It'll get right up to most recent swing high. But the second sell would be something when you break down there and you would look at the impulse move that caused that break. And you would look at the first fair value gap in that premium. Now you could look for something else. This is basically the entry. The way you enter is up to you. You could have used this order block. You might use the most extreme. You might use the highest point. You might use the first point. I use the first point. All right, so I would have been something like this. It'd been a little choppy trade. And you know me, I would have used a stop loss up here. Theoretically, you would use this stop loss, but again, like we were just talking about earlier, you would have got stopped out at break even. Or not, no, I'm sorry, not at break even. You would have got stopped out with equal highs. I don't know why I said break even. I would use that just because that happens all the time. It's just, now, so pyramiding would have looked something like this. You could have maybe just been targeting these lows. The reason I had a little bit of an extended target was because I had different TA. But let's say if you wanted to pyramid this, you might go in here with like 0.5% of your risk. Like, so let's say you risk 0.5% of your account per trade. You might have risked 0.5 here and then another 0.5 here. You know, to be honest, I just like taking the first one. I don't really pyramid, but I have thought about it and have looked at it. But I think it kind of can overcomplicate things. And again, it's kind of like min-maxing stuff. Now, I'm not saying it should never be done, but like for instance, in this situation, if you just went 0.5 here, you would have got, if you just held to the full target, you would have got about 2.5 R. Then you would have got on this trade 0.085 or yeah, not 0.08, 0.85 R. So you'd add like 3.3 R when you could have just taken this trade with your full risk and got 4 R. So, and I see that a lot. I'll be honest, I like taking the low risk sell, because almost every entry model you take, whether you realize it or not, is a market maker model. That was one thing whenever I was learning ICT, that I learned the market maker model and I couldn't get it, and I tried to overcomplicate it, and then I just realized, I'm like, wait, market maker, power of 3, they're different, but oftentimes, let's say if you have a power of 3 on a 1 hour, well, maybe the Pico entry on the manipulation was a 5-minute market maker model or a 1-minute market maker model. Really, all it is just kind of trying to verbalize and embody occurrences and price whenever a sell program is starting and you have that curve starting. So, for instance, you have the sell. Let me move this. So you have the sell side of the buy side of the curve over here, where price starts seeking the buy side, which really, I guess, happened down here, because this is where you see that shift. And again, it's talking about, what we're talking about is when we have a shift in market structure. Let's even say it's over here. So you have that shift in market structure. That's whenever you're starting to seek the buy side. Now, what type of buy side are you seeking? In this example, I think there was a imbalance. It was going, why did it move me so far back? An imbalance or something along those lines. No, it's just OT. I can't remember. No, it was a 1 hour order block. That's what it was. There's a 1 hour order block right here. So you're reaching that order towards that order block right here. And then at the top, that's when you're using that smart money reversal for, is to determine when you're starting to seek the sell side. So, that this is going to be the sell side of the curve. So the whole idea of the market maker model is really just understanding this occurrence and that reversal when price goes from one program, which is a buy program, coming up to mitigate that order block, and then when it shifts to a sell program, which we identify using a higher time frame context, and then the lower time frames to confirm that occurrence. So I hope that helped. How important is a clear target for a good trade? Would I just go with fixed RR if you get a good entry without a clear target? So just because you have a fixed RR does not mean you don't need a target, because with no target, you have no narrative. So there are a ton of entry models, right? A ton of different entry models that are going to show themselves all over the place. Does that mean everyone is going to yield 2R? No. So you need to have a target. Even if you're not actually using your target, you need to have an idea of where you think price is going. So for instance, in this area, I was looking at these lows was the first area. And then when I'm looking at the 1 hour, we were back over here. It was right here. I was looking at this imbalance and discount pricing. So I had a target of where I wanted price to go. I didn't use a fixed risk to reward there, but, let's say if I did, the target would have been, discount pricing. It's just your narrative. So you do need a target. Wait, what is this 100 pip wicks of what, gold or EU? Or you said something at 2000, right? 2036, it will hit TP. You said I only trade the fucking, oh, you're joking. You're talking a year 20. Oh, you're talking USDJPY from earlier. I was so confused. My bad, I'm late on these. Yeah, okay. So you said MFF making it a pain to layer multiple orders, and I feel your pain, bro. It gets frustrating sometimes. So a fix for that is trading NQ and risking 0.5%. Because oftentimes, if you're risking 0.5%, you know, because I have the 300K account, and most of the time I can get away with one position, maybe two, if I'm trading NQ. Lately, I've been risking even less just because I kind of wanted to. But you could risk less, or you can always trade NQ. That's kind of the only solution, but it is a pain. I understand your pain. Like you said, right after for US 500. Would I still look at this as a potential trade in the afternoon sessions if it raids that low and goes in the fair value gap? Yeah, sure. For sure. It'd almost be better. Seems like that's what it wants to do. So it's okay to not take trades at killzone? Yeah, for sure. Don't take them out of session. Like, pick a session that you are trying to trade and stick with that. But don't try and force your narrative. I just realized, holy shit, it's 109. I gotta go. I'm supposed to go eat lunch with my dad. I'm gonna answer these last couple of questions and I'm gonna hop off here. What's up, Johnny? I don't use volume profiles much. I think they're cool and they're good, but I don't use them because I'm not very versed in them. Do I have a defined set of rules for my strategy? I do. It was on I put it on stream the other day. I'll have to find it and post it up. If you have me on Twitter, don't hesitate to DM me and remind me. I'm literally about to have to run out the door though. Would I suggest ICT's 2016 mentorship for more in-depth study on ranges? Yeah, for sure. Okay, so season 4, and it's liquidity delivery is the name of the episode. So if you have access to ICT 2016, go to season 4. Actually, I think he has it on YouTube now. It's liquidity delivery. It's a really good video on that. Isn't killzone where I hunt for my setups? I mean, yes, for sure. For me, I hunt during the London close a lot of the time, but with equities, it's for me anytime from 8:30 to 11. If you want to not dumb it down, but refine that, you could go 9:30 to 11. But there is going to be a better time, but I'm not going to not trade indices. Just that kill zone. That's just my strategy, though. I trade it in the afternoon, which theoretically isn't a kill zone. In my opinion, it kind of is, but don't overthink shit. It's really easy to kind of people learn smart money concepts and learn kill zones, learn these things, and then haven't really used them and haven't gone out in the field and executed. And you're looking at it like, damn, I figured out the fucking prophecy. I'm going to just trade for 2 hours a day and I'm going to get the perfect sell side rate every day. And it's going to destroy you psychologically. And yes, I get it. I get what you're saying. It's kill zones are where you're going to get a lot of optimal entries, and it's okay to just hunt there. But I'm just telling you, I do this, and I'm not going to not trade throughout the session. For instance, I look for trades around 1:30, 2 o'clock. It's not a kill zone, but I've made a lot of money there. So don't let shit get in your head. A lot of shit is there to is kind of a selling point, and is to make you almost ooh and ah at a lot of these concepts. But don't take I don't know. I don't want to try to think of how to put this. Don't overthink shit, right? What I try to do is try to give you guys what you need to know, and tell you how I use it, and be practical and simplify it, because this field is very polluted with people who try to act like they're a fucking scientist. And there are some, obviously ICT, I'm not saying him, but there are a lot of people that will give you a false expectation if you follow them. Q&A, questions and answers. We're going to be done. So at what time should you trade in the crypto markets? Asia session or Tokyo? I'm sorry, shit. Asian session or New York session is going to be the best. But on that note, guys, so I said Phil dying. Is it back at break even? I hit that imbalance. So I was saying I was probably going to draw back down into that. But kind of a pivotal moment. So we'll see how it goes. People who move their stops to break even got stopped after some small gains. But yeah, guys, I will holler at you all later. I'll try to be active and chat on my phone, but I do have to run out of the house and meet my dad for lunch. But I will see you guys tomorrow at noon, and we'll kind of recap the week, see how we did on the bias. I think we did overall pretty good. We said we were leaning to upside Monday, and if we go back to Monday, we got a little bit of downside at first, I think. Actually, not really much, and we got pretty much a bullish week. So overall, so didn't do too shabby there. All right, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.